I'm doing all right. Love, peace, happiness, and togetherness. Sounds like a good motto to me. I love
it. Well. Welcome back to Book Plus. What's up, Kev?
SC. I tell you what we need from you, SC, is...
Dude, let's just start the show first. We can talk to SC. He's not going. All right, fine. Just Tom, send us your address. You won that footy kit. Email intern@bookplus.com. All right, let's talk about the show. Come on, man. I'm so excited about Derek, and you're doing housekeeping. We could do that at the end of the show.
Dude, I would forget. I haven't even begun to quite process what happened there.
It was fun, man. It was fire. We found out what it would sound like if Allman Brothers played Everything's Right, I felt like, or First Tube. It's so good. Yeah, thank you, SC. I appreciate it. So before we can get into all that fun, though, I think we need to take it from the top, as it were, take it from the chorus. So let's bring this up. It was a fun, you know what? Even without Derek, right from the start, I thought tonight's show was just a great show all around. I thought this first set had a lot packed into it. A lot of good.
It had a lot going on.
Yeah. What did you think about the start with Free?
Free was good. It had a little bit of a Martian Monster tease, I think, in it from Trey. He was played that a little bit. I felt like just as an overview of the set, I felt like every song except maybe Pillow Jets, because it's so new, had something unique in it.
Yeah. Like there was a little extra in the set in each of the songs. It was very compact versions of a lot of the songs, but so well executed. The only time it felt like disappointing was the Tube. That was the only one where I was like, I really wanted more out of it. Everything else, I feel like they delivered, even in compact versions of the songs, they delivered really great versions of them. But the Free was a strong, solid way to start. And then the Wolfmans again played very well, executed very well. Not sick of it at all. I know you were saying that, like, I don't know, was that you or T that was kind of bitching about the Wolfmans jams?
T bitches. T's the one who took over all the bitching.
Yeah, he's not here tonight, so it's all positive vibes.
Well, Wolfman's, I think if Wolfman's doesn't go, full on, and you get 10, 12 minutes and they really do it, it's a letdown to me a little bit. I'm like, you're just running through it. It's the greatest hits, Yeah.
But I liked it tonight. I didn't.
The two spot, I expected more, because the two spots have been kind of where they laid down a little bit extra.
Especially since MSG. But I guess you know what it was? It was going into Maze where you don't look back, right? You're like, okay, let's go. And I thought that was a great place to go and to kick it off with Maze. Paige just absolutely killed it.
Every time.
I know he really has. It's just MVP, consummate professional.
Maze has been a long time top fiver for me, so I was a little sad that it appeared tonight, that it probably won't show up at Dick's now.
Yeah, probably, but that's all right. You still have a lot on the table. They left a lot, I feel like. And then they got a pretty good Sigma. Say serviceable, right?
Serviceable. Yes, I thought it was a weird place. Usually a Sigma's early to open a set or the second song. Got a little bit, but I feel like it was right when they started to get going. Trey's like, all right, let's pull this in. I want to get, I want to move on to the next thing. It was almost like he had in his head, I wanted to do these songs, some of which, like the Twist in the Hood, are kind of second set songs, because he knew that half of the second set was going to be Derek. So I feel like this set was his thinking in building it was that.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how much of an impact that had. It is kind of an odd spot, but I liked it there.
I did too. No issue.
Yeah. Pillow Jets, I'm still torn on this one. I think out of the new class, this is one that hasn't really captured me entirely yet. I think I'm not like ready to hit shit on it like I do with some of the new songs, but it's not gotten me there yet. I'm still on the fence with it.
Right, tonight was a little bit more was a letdown compared to the last one, but I still love Conjurer of Thunder. It's one of those ones. The lyric isn't as bad as some of the other stuff for me, so that gets points to it.
Very
it's
repetitive, like just like, okay, we get it. Come on, Trey.
But the end part, I love what Fishman does. What do you think about that end? Fishman's drumming is just all over with that.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Very, very big, spacious. We heard an interview, or I forget where I heard it, but it was he was talking about how he's changed his drumming since he started playing in arenas and big stages, and how like a lot of like the little micro moves he would do and ghost notes and like the jazz fusion stuff he used to play.
Benji,
yeah, we were talking about it, and then we continued that conversation, and he's gotten rid of that. And now, and you could tell in songs like this that were written and mastered way after he became an arena drummer, he does those really big fills with the riding the hi-hat with his foot, and it feels a lot more voluminous and like bigger and I don't know. I like it. He's probably the highlight of all the new songs for me personally, but I don't know. We'll see how that one goes. The jury's still out. I'm not ready to shit on it, but not.
I think that Oblivion and The Well are going to be the ones that hang. And
already love those two. They're already got me.
And Pillow Jets and Monsters are going to disappear.
Agreed. I think that's a fair assessment. This Tube, and I feel like I say this every time they play Tube, and I apologize if I get repetitive, but it's just so damn tight and such a great like launch into a jam instantly that I want it to do more. And I know you could say that about so many songs, but this is the one that is always so disappointing because there's so much there, and then it just kind of Trey always looks back, Fish hits the fill into the width, the tag at the end into like the blues, end, and I'm just like, come on. But this one was particularly short though. Like, even 8-9 I would have been happy with, but it was really short. Well played. Super well played though.
It was. You blinked, you would have missed it though.
I know.
But I think again in the back of my head, what I think is looking at the rest of it, the twist hood is Trey was, do I have enough time? I better make sure that I have enough time to give Twist time to breathe. And I know that Hood's a long one,
Well, Twist did breathe a lot, actually. I felt like this was the first point of the night. And tonight was not really a big jam night, as we know, right? Because the second set got into, a lot of that fun Southern rock jamming. But like as far as like more traditional type 2 spacey jamming, there wasn't a lot of that tonight. But Twist, I feel like it was the one spot where they took it out a little bit. And I really enjoyed that.
I thought that they were going to go Beneath the Sea of Stars or something when it started to get quiet at one point.
Yeah. Yeah, I could have heard that. I could see that. Yeah. And then Hood. I mean, Hood's a great way to close the set. I
wish I knew, SC. I wish I knew when the last time was.
I feel like they've done that fairly often. Yeah.
Usually it's a second set closer.
I feel like it hasn't been that rare. If we had a producer, we could look it up, but we don't. So sorry.
We had to give our producer the night off. He's had off every night for the past month.
Fucking wooks.
I like Hood to close the first set. I wouldn't mind if it showed up there once in a while, but I don't want it to live there.
Yeah, no, I mean, but it was nice though tonight, and I think it was a really cool way to. It felt, the first set felt like a much bigger set in the moment than it really was. Like looking back, it wasn't necessarily a longer set, but it just had so much going on. They put a lot of songs and it had all these different moments. It felt just a lot more grandiose and bigger than the first set normally feels like.
It was a really solid first set, John. It was. We weren't. I was saying before the show that tonight's first set was light years ahead of last night's first set for me.
Wait, what the fuck? Who said tonight was meh?
That's because we were being, hypercritical about little points.
Oh, Jesus, sorry. No, literally, we got
a half hour to fill here, guys.
Literally, I opened up the program. We got in the green room, and Kev's like, "Well, that was the best show of the summer." And I was like, "Yeah, pretty damn close." I wasn't ready to crown it the gold medal, but
all right. So let's, since we're in the middle here, let me ask you the question: how do you rank a show that has a guest like that, with all the special that comes with that, compared to every other show that doesn't?
Well, normally for me, a guest is a detriment. I hate to say, like, it's cool for the
I'm
novelty, but like with Bobby sitting in, I mean, I love Bobby, but like that wasn't a great set of fish, right? And like even Dave in Mexico or Bruce was cool. I saw that in Bonnaroo, but like I don't. Normally, it's a detriment to me. I would rather just. But tonight, I think it was enhanced the show a lot, and I think so. I think other than that, it's just fish. Like
I always feel like Trey, when they have a guest, plays to the guest. What does the guest know? What would they be comfortable playing? As opposed to, hey, Derek, let's do Golden Age. But we'll get into that in a minute. Don't we have a little housekeeping?
Yeah, we'll keep it short. We'll be here 15 minutes after Encore for all of Dick's, and then Wednesday nights at 9 are pretty standard live stream time, so come check it out.
Yeah, the week after Dick's, the Wednesday after Dick's, the 6th of September, we're going to do a recap of it because Tim's going to be flying solo with a bunch of special guests for Dick's. Scotty B is going to be one. Who else we got? The Stub Me Down guys? One of them?
Skinny from Stub Me Down.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward. I was thinking about, somebody was asking me to do a little tie-dye tutorial, so I might do that on Wednesday. Show that off. I don't know. It'll be fun, but I'm trying to keep myself distracted.
Variety hour.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep myself distracted. I'm so bummed I can't go to Dick's this year.
Subscribe. You can become a member. It's like $2.99 a month. It really helps us just pay to keep the doors open.
I had some other fucking housekeeping thing, but I completely lost it. So I suggest we'll go into the second.
We're gonna have Taper's Choice coming up.
Oh, September. You know what I was gonna say? No, about your point about playing to the guests. I felt like everyone enhanced their playing out of a respect for Derek. Honestly, like I thought the singing was better. I thought the playing was tighter. I thought Mike, yeah, you could see like the way Fish and Mike kept like looking at each other and looking at Derek. It was like, I don't know if it's like a causal thing or just a coincidence, but I felt like everybody was enhancing their playing, having him there. And it was like, I don't know if they were trying to show off or if they just like were enjoying it and added like a swagger to the playing. But I think not only did Derek play phenomenally, but I think the rest of the band played better with him there. Yeah, I agree, Peter. The bass in Possum was fucking chef's kiss. But let's bring the set list up.
We'll Thank you, Matt. One at a time. Matt, there with the last time a hood closed set one was 99, Jim.
Really? Holy shit! It felt well. That's why we don't speak off the cuff. Appreciate you looking it up.
Mm-hmm.
So Disease opened the set, really fun. I am a stand for the samples. I'm not gonna bitch about it. I thought it was cool and playful the way they brought it in.
So short. Thinking ahead. See, this is gonna go to my thing. Thinking ahead.
Well, I think it was a rocking type of night, though. That's what I was saying. It was not a spacey type 2 type of night. With the a few minor exceptions, but it was still a fun jam. I thought it was.
They hit the
segue,
the Bliss jam like right out of it, and Trey rode it for a good time. There wasn't much exploring. It was like Trey knew where he wanted to go. This is what we're doing. We're going in. This is where we're ending up. I think he had a vision tonight more than some nights they walk out and they're like, let's see where it goes.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially because he knew what time he wanted to bring Derek out. And, but, it's still really on point with the playing. And that segue into Ghost was really good. Just a superb segue there. And the Ghost Jam was nice.
Wasn't that, shouldn't that be a segue into 2001?
I don't know, man.
I think it should.
I forget.
We outsourced the set list.
.NET does not have it as a segue into 2001, but the
Okay.
segue into Ghost I specifically remember and made note of being really good. And man, that Ghost jam was just really beautiful. Nice, blissful, beautiful jam out of that. And now you want to talk about trucks?
Well, the 2001 I think had a little meat on the bone. Sometimes they've only been like 5 minutes lately, and I think it was smart to do because they could vamp. You know, they wheeled the thing out, and so yeah, let's talk about Derek Trucks. Let me just say, for someone who doesn't sing and just plays guitar, you put him on a stage and the band becomes his.
Yeah.
I mean, as magnetic as Trey is, Trey was looking at Derek the whole time. What's your lead, Derek? Where are we going?
He commands the stage. He has a presence. I also think, even though he's not actually singing, the way he plays a guitar has a very soulful singing quality to it. The voice that he added to the songs was just phenomenal. I mean, that's kind of a cliche thing, but like he adds a more than just another player. There's like this quality, this soulful singing tonal quality that he added to it. And you Golden Age, I don't think is a song that I would have expected. I would not have guessed that would have been a song that they would go with for him. And it worked brilliantly. I mean, it worked really well.
It's so amazing to me. They're playing Golden Age, and it took a little bit, I think, before they got Derek mixed in right. But once they did, it all of a sudden, when they went into the jam, became Allman-esque.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's the double guitars or it's just the slide and the Derek played with the Almonds forever, obviously, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the way he climaxes and the intertwining of the guitars. Not just the fact that there's two guitars, but the way the two guitars play with each other. And the slide, I think, obviously. I think just having that tone in the songs. But yeah, you're right, because it took a little bit to lock in, because when he came out with Golden Age, it was more traditional soloing, right? Which you see a lot. You bring a guitar player out, he's soloing, Trey backs up, and I'm like, okay, that's nice. Watching Derek solo is great. Don't get me wrong. Like, if that's all it was, it would still be nice. But then once they started talking to, like, playing to each other and layering voices over each other, and the best part was, like, he knew the songs and he was adding additional voices to it, right? And was like expanding it, not just like, replicating Trey's part, but was adding new parts and new voices to the jams and the songs, which just like recreated them and brought them to a whole new level.
I'm calling it type 1.5 jamming, because it's the two of the guitars locked in, but the rest of the band's basically just vamping along and going with.
Yeah, well, especially in Golden Age, I feel like in Everything's Right, it actually did get a little bit type 2. It broke out a little bit more, but I think that's a fair assessment with Golden Age. I dug it, though. I really, really liked it.
I loved it so much. I mean, I do not like guest. I want to hear PHiSH do PHiSH because of it seems limiting. But Derek Trucks is just such a master at what he does. You put him somewhere and it's going to turn out right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird because, like, and I don't want to, like, say we take this for granted, but, like, watching every single show, like, you and I have literally watched every single PHiSH show in the last, several years. I haven't missed a second of it. It's rare these days where, like, you literally drop everything and just get completely fixated and hooked. And that whole end of this show, I was like jaw open, just like taking it in. And I think that it brought a little extra to the whole performance. It's funny because I was kind of hoping Susan was going to come out too. I didn't know she was around, and I really liked their playing with Tab. But in hindsight, I'm kind of glad with what we got. I mean, I love Tedeschi, but I feel like this was very special in itself and didn't need anything extra.
Derek got permission to go out fishing.
Yeah, and next time, maybe she'll come out without him, and that'll be great.
Yeah, but that Everything's Right, I think, was probably, I don't know. It had so many interesting spaces. I'm not going to say it's my highlight because that's got to be the first two. But Everything's Right, as you pointed out, the lock-in sets where Trey played with Derek and Susan's band, and then Derek played with Tab, they did do Everything's Right. Life Beyond a Dream was done with Susan singing with Tedeschi Trucks Band, and I'm assuming First Tube was played at some point. So those were familiar, at least on some level. He'd been through them at least once live.
Yeah. No, and you could tell. I mean, I don't know if it really makes that big of a difference because he's Derek Trucks. Like, I'm sure he can pick anything up, but it felt more locked in. It didn't feel like an artist covering something that they played for the first time. It really felt a lot more locked in than I guess normally feels. I think I like that Everything's Right more than any other version of Everything's Right. I just really like what it did to that song.
Well,
having that voice.
It opens it up. It's, and I think part of fact check Kev.
We should fact check Kev. That should be a hashtag. I don't even know what they're talking about. You just started spatting out a bunch of stats. So
Trey was it was funny watching Trey because he was eyes locked on Derek, watching everything Derek does, and Derek's just at his guitar. He's like making love with his eyes to his guitar the whole time. And then Trey tried to get them out of Everything's Right at one point, and Derek Trey was like, all right, I guess we're still gonna go with this a little
Which
bit.
Is cool too, that because that's the other thing with guests is I feel like it doesn't jam because like there's like a hesitation on one person's part or the other. But Derek obviously has no problem jamming. I thought the Blue Sky tease was a nice way to keep things moving too and make it more fun. So I
really thought we were going to get the Mountain Jam. Trey teases it all the time. I guess it was so obvious. That was like just low hanging fruit.
Yeah, I was thinking that or the whipping post, but that was a pipe dream.
Right.
I mean, would have been too much.
I would think an instrumental before them doing a song that had lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
All right, so Life Beyond a Dream is not a song that is top of my list, and we all know, even though I did dance to it at the Man. But with Derek on it, it was so beautiful. That's why I think Susan should be doing that song. That song should be given to her because her treatment of it at that lock-in show was just
phenomenal.
Yeah.
I did think that Trey singing tonight was really good, especially on that song. And that's where it felt like maybe there was like he was trying to, I don't know. There was an enhancement in their other playing.
If Trey only has a little broccoli, is it like a fleurette? Like a flourish? It's a fleurette.
I saw that. I probably would have laughed at that. It was the first time I heard that joke tonight, but that's okay.
Follow me on Blue Sky for more dumb.
No, but I think the singing was great. The extra part was great, and it was a nice little breather. First Tube though, holy shit! I didn't know where they were gonna go with it. I was like, when they started playing it, because he was vamping on the guitar, like he was setting the pulse with the guitar for a while. I was like, wait, are they gonna do? And like, you knew it was First Tube, but I was like, that's a weird choice. What are they doing? And I really, really was impressed and dug how it sounds with the two guitars and the harmonizing of the guitar part was very cool.
It was a brilliant call from Trey to do that. Even though looking back now, I mean, it's like the obvious way to close the set out.
Yeah.
I wondered if Trey was going to pull Jedi, but Jedi got a Jedi,
Well, it's so funny because she starts to go up and you see him getting it. And Derek's like, what are we doing? And then he starts to go down, right? And drops the octave while Trey's going up the octave. And it was it's probably the shortest Jedi lift that Trey's ever done because he lifts it up. Derek goes down. He's like, well, this isn't working. All right, good night. But it was cool. I mean, it was fun. You have to imagine backstage, Derek's just like, man, you hop around a lot. Because like Trey's bouncing like a little rabbit and Derek's just cool as ever, just standing there playing.
Yeah. Well, at one point, Derek walked over during Possum and they were standing next to each other. The classic two guitar players playing the same riff together, thing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Great singing, great playing, great show. I thought this second set was phenomenal, and then the encore.
Right, Derek played Possum in '99 at some point. He sat in with PHiSH.
Yeah.
and it played that at some point. I thought that it had everything extra on it. You know, I think Page was fired up his, you know, the piano, the first solo that Page takes, and Derek was looking over at him. And
yeah, he was digging it. He was
Yeah.
really into it. And Mike, I mean, God, the bass sounded so good. It's kind of like, why didn't it sound this good the rest of the tour? I thought he sounded much better in the mix compared to last year. And I wouldn't even have thought this, except for it was so much better during Possum. Like, why didn't you turn up like that?
Maybe it's the extra guitarist forced the sound guy to do something different.
Right. And accidentally found out how to make Mike sound great.
It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic. So, you know, I'm looking at Dick's now and I'm like, oh man.
You got a lot on the table still,
I know,
though.
but I feel like they left it. I think they left a lot on that stage at SPAC over the 2 nights. I know I wasn't as hot on last night, but tonight was just.
I think you get the best of both worlds because they delivered special performances tonight and last night. So if you went to SPAC, you're feeling good. You got good shows, but they left enough on the table and they're on an upward trajectory and they're fired up. Tonight was a night where I feel like, inject energy and fun into it for them, and they're going to be really excited and go into Dick's, you know, hitting it, but without having like overly spent anything. There was nothing super exploratory or super creative. It was just a fun rocking, like, you know, Southern rock and roll show with Derek. So I think this is the best you could have hoped for as far as getting great shows, but also setting up a great Dick's run.
Right. Some people are saying Modulus come to play. Kyle Z and Peter Bixby are saying that he had the Modulus for the encore. Maybe
is that why
something
the
to do with
sound
it.
got so much better? Yeah, I mean, I'm not a bass tonal expert, but that makes sense to me. We'll have to fact check that or look into it and follow up. But that sounds great.
Well, I believe 3 people in a row.
I believe it. I mean, who the shit? I'm not gonna fact check. This sounds good. Awesome.
They're here to fact check us. It's not the other way around.
That's how this works, isn't it?
Not how it works at all. Hey, if you're gonna be at Dick's, find me. I'm gonna be at the wedge in the back on Mike's side.
And Essie, make sure you get us your address for your kit. And then if the tie-dye winners are watching, I started tying them. I have yet to dye them, but I am going on vacation, so it might be a week or 2.
Maybe you'll dye them live on Wednesday night.
They
can watch their dye being made.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah. All right. Well,
I might have to watch that.
Learn how to do it. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.